This week transformed New York City into a winter wonderland, which made the locals dig out their beanies, mittens, and face masks, which in this case didn't only protect them from coronavirus, but the cold as well, and run out of their houses in order to build snowmen or just generally enjoy the snow. New York City was smothered by 17.2 inches of snow by early Tuesday, which is the biggest snowstorm since 2016. And it made us wonder, what are the top 10 snowstorms in New York? So we decided to make a full video for all of you who wondered the same thing. Cover up with a warm blanket, get a nice hot cup of tea, because today we're gonna dig deep. The North American blizzard of 2006 was a nor'easter, which means there's a synoptic scale extratropical cyclone in the western North Atlantic Ocean. It all began on the evening of February 11, 2006, as it dumped heavy snow across the mid-Atlantic and New England states. It painted everything white, from Virginia to Maine, through the early evening of February 12th, and finally ended up in Atlantic Canada on February 13th. Major cities from Baltimore to Boston gathered at least a foot of snow, but New York City was bound to have one of its record snowfalls, the second highest amount of 26.9 inches or 68.3 centimeters. At the time, this was the most snow New Yorkers had seen since 1869, which was when they started keeping records, only broken by the January 2016 United States blizzard 10 years later. But more on that coming up. Number 2, 25.8 inches, December 26, 27th, 1947. As we're researching information for this particular storm, we found an article from Life magazine from January 5th, 1948, which we think perfectly captures the mood of how it felt. We'll present it to you without any edits. At 3:20 in the morning, it began to snow in New York City. By the time most New Yorkers were going to work, the blanket lay 3 inches deep. But the city, used to ignoring all natural phenomena and reassured by weather forecast of occasional flurries, went about its business. But as the day wore on, this characteristic blasé attitude vanished. The air grew filled with snowflakes so huge and thick it was impossible to see across the street. They fell without letting up all morning, all afternoon, and into the night. Long after nightfall, the illuminated news sign of the New York Times flashed an announcement to little groups of people huddled in Times Square that the snowfall, which totaled an amazing 25.8 inches in less than 24 hours, had beaten the record of the historic blizzard of 1880. A faint, muffled shout of triumph went up from the victims. Wow. Number 3, 21 inches on March 12 through 14th, 1888. This storm is not only the oldest on the list, but also the deadliest one. The New York Public Library archives estimate that 200 people died in the city as a result of the storm, and given the time and lack of proper insulation, heating devices and such, and the fact that many people didn't have the means to protect themselves properly, it's a miracle that only 200 were lost. With high winds and freezing temperatures, it dumped 21 inches of snow in New York City and put everything on hold. Number 4, 20.9 inches on February 25th through 27th, 2010. The February 25th through 27th, 2010 North American blizzard gained the nickname Snowicane and was a Category 4 crippling one. It was a winter storm and severe weather event that occurred in the Mid-Atlantic and New England regions of the U.S. between February 24th and 26th, 2010. The storm dropped the heaviest snow of 12 to 14 inches or 30 to 60 centimeters across a wide area of interior New England, New York, and Pennsylvania. In New York, the storm left more than 150,000 homes and businesses in the state without power, and the New York State Police even reported 2 deaths as a result of the storm. In New York City now, 20.9 inches. 20.9 inches fell in Central Park, which were mixed with slushy accumulation due to above freezing temperatures during the day. A man called Elmaz Oraya was killed in Central Park when tree branches fell on him on his way home. Well, are you freezing yet? In order to help you unfreeze and get a warm and cozy feeling inside, we offer the unique chance to like the video right now, and we'll send you a virtual hug in return. Come on, push that button. You know you want to. All done? All right, well, let's continue then. Number 5, 20.2 inches on January 7th and 8th, 1996. Another nor'easter, the blizzard of 96, completely paralyzed the East Coast with up to 4 feet or 1.2 meters of wind-driven snow from January 6th to January 8th, 1996. This particular storm would not have been as historically significant as it is now, without the presence of the Arctic high-pressure system located to the north of New York and the fact it was followed by another storm straight after that on January 12, 1996. Weirdly enough, after both of these devastating storms, what followed was unusually warm weather for the season and torrential rain, which naturally caused rapid melting of the snow of the previous days and river flooding. It's only one of 3 snowstorms to receive the top rating of 5 or extreme on the Northeast Snowfall Impact Scale. Number 6, 20 inches, December 26 and 27, 2010. Many of us wish snow for Christmas, but New Yorkers got more than they asked for in 2010, and they got it a day late. The city was eerily quiet after getting more than 30 inches of snow over the 2 days, and the winds were reaching 60 miles per hour, which resulted in near whiteout conditions with blowing and drifting snow. The air and land travel completely halted while vehicles and trains were abandoned throughout the Northeast due to unsafe conditions. Of course, that didn't mean that a lot of people didn't enjoy it. Throughout social media, people shared beautiful photos of a white New York and the playfulness that a lot of the locals displayed. Number 7, 19.8 inches on February 16th, 17th, 2003. The blizzard of 2003 had the nickname the President's Day Storm 2, or PD2 for short, and it was a record-breaking snowstorm on the east coast of the U.S. and Canada, which went from February 14th to the 19th, 2003. It's listed a Category 4 or crippling, and it covered all cities from Washington, D.C. to Boston in 15 to 30 inches of snow. That's 380 to 760 millimeters. The blizzard was part of a particularly remarkable winter for snowstorms in the affected states, where total snowfall for the season ranked in the top 10 and even higher in some areas. Number 8, 19 inches on January 25th to the 27th, 2011. Just a couple of weeks after the almost Christmas snow that just covered New York, the locals were in for another surprise snowfall, which made the whole event get called a lot of funny names. Some of our favorites: Snowmageddon, Snowpocalypse, and the cringeworthy Snowmygod. On its own, this January 25th through 27th, 2011 North American blizzard was a major mid-Atlantic nor'easter and winter storm, and the third significant snowstorm to affect the region in the same season. At least 19 inches of snow accumulated in New York City in the wake of the storm, and as a result, for the 9th time in history, all public schools were closed, all area airports, and, unfortunately, it was the cause of death for 2 people. Number 9, 18.1 inches on March 7th and 8th, 1941. A fierce winter storm that began on the night of March 7th, 1941 brought heavy snow, sleet, and high winds during the morning of the 8th. By 11 in the morning, 18.1 inches of snow had fallen, making the city dressed in beautiful white. The precipitation changed to a light drizzle in the afternoon. At the time, this tied with a snowstorm in January 1935 as New York's second biggest snowfall, with both of the dates receiving the same amount of snow. Well, are you ready to see the biggest one yet? Well, to prepare yourself even better, you need to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because we have amazing top 10s tailored to our viewers' desires, and we'd love it if you join our little gang. Aren't you ready to take the next step? Let's go. Number 10, 27.5 inches on January 22nd and 23rd, 2016. The snowfall totals in Central Park were 27.5 inches, making the January 22nd, 23rd storm the biggest blizzard to hit the city since record-keeping started in 1869, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. It was a Category 5 or extreme and considered a historic blizzard. The storm has received several nicknames from various media outlets, but the name Winter Storm Jonas that was created by the Weather Channel is the one that stuck with most people, and they still refer to it today with that name. Approximately 103 million people were affected by the storm, with 33 million people under blizzard warnings and more than 13,000 flights canceled in relation to the storm, with effects rippling internationally. There you have it for today. These were the top 10 biggest snowstorms in New York. If you happen to be a local New Yorker, tell us about your experience with one of them, or more of them if you like, down in the comments. And if you're not, well, let us know which one you found particularly interesting and why. Don't forget to check out our channel for more amazing top 10s. And if you haven't already for some mysterious reason, like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's your chance. Until then, stay safe and stay warm.